All right. Greetings, I'm joining us. Yeah, I can't have the salt lamp on the table anymore because the cats knock it down. I got a big dent on the floor, so yeah, so I have a light down there instead. Um, a light, yeah, that's the best it's gonna get. At least it's already on the floor. I've already dropped the thing 3 times already, so yeah, it's just I don't know if it's ever gonna return until I figure something out. So tonight is Jupiter Ascending, the Matrix, and Holographic Reality. So we'll do the best we can with that. It's only so much you can pull from that, but we'll see. So the new Matrix movie is coming out end of this year, and I don't know. This talks about past lives, multi realities, you can say. So they're trying to put some kind of message through there. Um, it's not exactly sure what exactly, but well, yeah, I guess the main bad guy that's in that is to keep the the Neo character from remembering himself. And we're kind of living in that now. Jupiter Ascending is another. I felt Jupiter energies, so I was like, okay, we'll just take that to another level. So even the Jupiter Ascending, the movie had a lot of disclosure in it here and there. Maybe not exactly, maybe not the easiest thing to watch, but did have little disclosure connections there. And a holographic reality just happened to that. We'll see where that goes. The other thing was, I don't know why I'm feeling this. With Palladians and their sacrifice here. At least that's the version I'm getting of them not always knowing what to do with this world, but it's really taking a toll on their civilization, depending on the planets connected to us. Because they don't know, because this planet just it goes backwards so many times. Um, for example, I mean, they send people, Arcturians send people, and to help people, evolve. But then those people fail. They become part of, manipulation, in different levels of it. Like in spiritual groups, they start controlling people, things like that. So I've seen it. I've seen potential of some that can do a little bit more, but choose not to. They hold themselves back for material reasons. I'm not sure why. They just do, without naming names. I can actually feel it. So it's like they can be here and I can be somewhere else right now. But they're not doing what they could be doing. So that's why some of us incarnate here to move things along, at least the best of what we can. So not there to change everything. But either way, it's a little bit complicated with that one. Not sure if anyone knows what the hell I'm talking about, but it's just that some people are incarnated here to be like high profile and help evolve the timeline, but then they get corrupted or stopped or whatever it might be, and they go into a different direction. Happens all the time. It's just a pain when it happens. That's all. I think more people will see it. I think people will see it now. They're just not seeing the full picture of it. Yeah, it's a little bit much. It's called it disappointing. Call it whatever you want. All right, so I've been talking to Conway at Price Sessions. We have a shop here. I'm on September now, but not very far. Same situation here. We have a webinar tomorrow. We also have a webinar Saturday. I just realized it was one for Saturday. social network and behind the scenes. Yeah, because even my mission here is there's more to it. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but there's another side of it that has not started yet. It might. It's weird to, I'm not going to describe it, but it's just another part of this mission that I've been connected to since I was younger. It's like people wait for manifestation. Well, it hasn't manifested itself yet. So, everything I'm trying to manifest hasn't happened. So, I told you how well manifestation works. I wasn't manifesting channeling, as far as I'm concerned. No, it found me. But there's another avenue I can go into. It just hasn't opened up yet. Yeah, well, whenever that happens, we'll see where that goes. That might happen this year. We'll see. Well, just wait and see on that. So Jupiter ascending, okay, Jupiter's energies. And where else? In the Matrix, I guess. And a holographic grail. I guess the Matrix and the holographic grail are pretty much the same thing, but maybe not. They both have different types of consciousness connected to them. So, okay. We'll just see where it goes. All right, blessings. Okay, all right, blessings. Greetings. We are Jupiter. Consciousness is we assist you to find yourselves, figure your direction out. No being is here to tell you anything unless you are prepared for it. There is another wearer to you that has not been revealed of a spiritual development. Is just that some of you are looking one direction but not realizing you're doing something on another level. Basically discovering more about yourselves and not always looking for that. It just kind of happens on its own. Many, yes, are manifesting wealth or celebrity, whatever it might be, but not realizing they're discovering more of who they are, which kind of sneaks itself in. It's not there to show its full self. Society is still trying to figure it. I believe much of society doesn't want to know all the details of your reality. It might be a little bit overwhelming. So you get pieces of it, but not the full picture. Well, many are trying to live their lives here. Yes, connect to their powers and abilities, but that's fine. But what about one's internal darkness that needs to be healed? That has been baked, cooked, and left, forgotten, but yet used, and sometimes not in the most healthy ways. Meaning that there's darkness that has to be released in some form for one to have their powers. It is, yes, be real with yourself, basically. And some are doing that, yes. But it's not always the easiest to see that. If you come here for a reason, you're anchored into Earth's darkness to discover what is within yourself. What is your reality? How far can you go into your own energy field? Yes, your own universe, opening that door, not an easy door to open. Yes, not listening to what others say, and just allowing your own realm to open. Yes, it can be cartoon-like. It can be whatever it is, because that's the healing point. Yes, if you're more real with yourself, changes can occur. You can connect more to your future and realities around you. None of them will be the easiest, of course, won't happen instantly. But at least you have a more of a, you can live with yourself a little bit easier. You can be alone easier than having to be with someone all the time. It's just basically making inner peace, which many get pulled into other people's energies. It's hard to find yourself in all of this. Self-discovery, a difficult one. One that does take years. Doesn't necessarily have to take a lifetime. But if you're willing to dig into your own energy field, as ugly as it might be, there's nothing wrong with it being ugly. It's just, are you willing to see it? Because everyone has something, no matter how high vibrational you might be. There's something there that's not pleasant. It's just a way of life, or all existence. I mean, if you have a lifetime of just, it's all just kindness and pretty, and what good is that? Where's the dirt? Well, you find it somehow. It's like, I need to discover some of my darkness, and you go to worlds to do that. Well, that's why the grays are so useful. They bring out a lot of darkness among beings, and you turn them dark. And you come here to heal it. And so forth with other beings. And the grays are pretty good at going dark pretty fast. The grays are kind of like a psychedelic robot. Not exactly in that way, but where, yes, they can be very enlightened and then switch on you in a second. It all depends on the species of it, but some can really turn against the species very easily. So it's just a kind of unstable energy. That's not all with all of them, though. But some of them are unstable. But doesn't that sound familiar to your world? I mean, are they all that different than your reality? And the reptilians and all of those, are they all that? Are they just cousins? Doesn't mean you have to like your family members. Who does? But some have difficulties with some of these alien species, and come to find out you're related. And that's another part of darkness to discover. It doesn't mean it necessarily has to be full darkness. But some, especially have arguments, you don't get what you want, whatever it might be. Because as you discover more into your own energy field, you see things more clearly. Even if others don't want to see it for themselves. And it does make it more difficult because they don't want to see who they are. You see their darkness, but they don't see it. It's what we're getting at, really. Of course, you know your own, but it doesn't mean it has to be too dark. I mean, you already brought enlightenment to it. You balanced it in a way where you can see it, but it's not too bad. But others are boiling. But they say they're positive, but they're about to blow. It's very, very true here. So if you're going to this next level of growth, how far are you willing to go? It doesn't necessarily have to be an ugly. It doesn't have to be ugly at all. It might seem that way, but it's discovering what you have, what you've been through, why you have anxieties, why you have depressions. It's all connected to what you've been through in other incarnations. Discovering, of course, not the easiest, but once you do see parts of it, pieces of it, it does make you feel better in the long run. It's just not an easy find. Your culture, of course, is not advertising, as you know. Greetings. We are the matrix consciousness. We are an AI energy, but not entirely. Yes, you can say an archon role. It's basically, some might have difficulties with this. It's kind of like having a computer, having a reality in that computer, like on your hard drive. Some are living that, or a thumb drive for that matter. Some are living, yes, it can be very small. Not that a computer hard drives are much bigger. A whole reality just there. And some have actually have realizations like it's like waking up and just looking at a computer or a server room or Google. It's like, is that where I live? So that's why so many feel like this computer generated. They've lived through it. Do they have darkness there? Of course. Well, yes and no. It doesn't have to be that way. But seeing that you are living on someone else's computer is a little bit odd. Like that's your reality. It's a reality like yours. But it's on someone's hard drive. I believe that's what they're trying to say in your Matrix, at least your films, at least a version of it. Of course, some have difficulties at digesting that one. But it's true. Even some of these computer games that people play with realities, like you build cities and things like that. You don't think those are real somewhere? Yes, of course. Yes, there's another layer to it, but you're wanting to build a city for a reason because you've done it before. So, especially video game energies where people want to be a creature, an alien. That's another way of just self-disclosure. And with calling it fiction, yes, because one can handle it when it's called fiction. If it's allowed to be real, well, that is your next phase of reality, we feel. When humans are allowing that to occur, many are deep, just, they don't believe it. Some do. Most don't. Your culture has not fully snapped out of this hologram reality that you're living in. There's different ways. Yes, this is real. Are you on a hard drive? Well, some of you are. Not everybody. But some are. Some are in computer generated reality. It's just what they're used to. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that's what they're used to. They see it as computer hologram because that's what they come from. You are what you come from. And you can look at anything however you want to. Different perspectives are so important here. Well, it's like you come to a country like America, you're French, you're Spanish, or this or that. Well, now you're becoming more aware of you're on Earth and you come from a computer-generated reality. You come from the moon, stars, whatever, and Palladian, Syrian, same thing. Just a little bit different. A hard drive and so forth. So it's up to you how you want it to just, yes, realize how much you have to change your world of thinking. See them talk of philosophers at the highest level talk about that one. I obviously believe some of them will actually agree with that. Maybe. Well, it depends on, some of them have been so poisoned by this reality, of course. There's several beings controlling your reality. Of course, they're not going to make themselves known until you just start discovering them, which there are some individuals here that know exactly who is here, but you can say it partly in denial that they are here. Even descriptions and all that has not been made fully public. Well, what we see is that some of these alien beings, that are very extremely hidden, become more known. Some of them might start even showing themselves. Well, at least, well, we can give a hint. Some of them are part of your modeling agencies or models. That's a hint of beings that are affecting your reality quite a bit. Like I say, hidden in plain sight. But who are they? Where do they come from? What's going on? What's the further story behind that? course, they're not saying. Yes, a kind of like a perfect race, supposedly, always in their minds, right in front of your society. No one thinks anything of it. But what is it truly affecting reality? Oh, yes, it is. Because it affects the way you look at things. What's beauty and all that? Because they're there to define it, always trying to define it. Others are looking at it from a different way and try to break that mold, which there's nothing wrong with it. But of course, there's another layer of that altogether. But the matrix realms, the holographic realities, is all what you feel you came from. What is not necessarily its home, this is where you came from. It's like what you know the best, at least on a spiritual level. Some that don't believe in any of this, well, in a spiritual, so-called spiritually awakened, yes, they're trying to shut down any open-mindedness. Yeah, some of them are agents. I believe that's been mentioned here. It's true. Are they going to be discovered as agents? Well, humanity isn't ready to discover it. I mean, in your realm, there is little, dictators of information that guard or like gatekeepers that are here, yes, in plain sight once again. I mean, you had dictators in your past, Hitler, Mussolini, etc. And people accepted that. So who doesn't say you have something like that in the spiritual community? Maybe they're not harming anyone, but they are doing something else instead. So maybe I look at things a little bit more different than you had in the past. It's like, is this a spiritual war? Well, who are the ones have a war on the people? Who are they? Are they trying to come off as friends? Usually dictators come off as your friend, and others are doing it that are manipulating your reality. And people are okay with it. It's like, oh, they're spiritually enlightened and they're controlling your reality. People are not quite there yet to see what kind of manipulation is going on there. So you're going to see those that are manipulating your reality when the time is right. Well, the reason it's been brought up a couple of times because it needs to be seen. You have so many have difficulties with your government system. What about the spiritual system that's going on? Has that been healed? No. So it's just another way for you to ascend is to recognize what's happening here currently. That's entirely up to you. Some of you that have had lives on a computer hard drive, obviously you've been around those that are normal people. But it helps you learn about yourself. So you're going through your spiritual awakening, but you see others that don't believe you, but that enforces your own, it kind of pushes you to open up even more. Maybe not broadcasting it, but to open up yourself. So some of you connect to realities where there's people that just don't believe in what you're talking about, such families, to see if this is really what you want. It's like, I want to open myself up more. I want to go further. Because them saying, no, it's not real, activates the rebellious side of you to push you further and further and further as far as you want to go. Now you feel like you're an alien on another planet. There's nothing wrong with that. But thank your families for that said none of that was real. It had a reason for it. We can't go into everyone's lifestyle and figure out why that happened, but there's reasons. Now, some incarnate into families where it's easy to open up, and that's fine, but your mission there is much different than others. It's like you're there to bring a softer energy to others, to help others relax, see themselves. But some of you are incarnating here because your warriors are going to a battle. And there's different levels of warrior. What is a spiritual warrior? You can take that however you want, but it is a spiritual war happening here. So you can label it any way you want. but it's still a spiritual war. Why? Because you can't say whatever you want in society. No, you can't just go anywhere and say your beliefs. And others like, what? I mean, even if they disagree with you, at least they're open to what you have to say. Here it is locked down. That's not happening. So, spiritual warfare on many levels. When that starts to open up is entirely up to you. There will be a time when this becomes more popular, yes. Get ready for that one. I believe many of you are preparing for that, actually. So, like, really, I mean, yes, many of you are going to the local store somewhere, red pilling people, and that's fine. But there's a whole nother level out there that has not been tapped into yet, where you can go anywhere and say these things. And that might always go so well for you. But at least it's becoming more open. But it just has not quite. The doors have not quite opened just yet. Well, I believe that's what you're trying to do here. Might as well. Why not have an open world, open society? Now, the Matrix realms, yes, are very locked down. Everyone's the same, for the most part. And you are here to scramble that code here. And eventually some of your aliens are starting to become known. Kicked out. Well, they get frustrated. They don't want to be hidden forever. But that, the way from them to show themselves is have able to have these conversations more publicly. Because then your frequency shifts to a higher frequency eventually. And that's when you can start seeing them easier. Because it's more part of your collective consciousness. It's no longer a secret. It is out in the open. Obviously, there are beings here that don't want it to be open. Obviously. But you're here to change that.